What's up, everybody? This is Jason from Straight Edge Lights and Gear, and we got another review for you today. And I know it's been a minute, guys. I've been working on my knife channel stuff, but I did get in some cool bags from VANQUEST Gear, guys. This is the Vert 5, and we got the Vert 7. We got the big bro and the little bro, guys, and we're going to be taking a look at both of these bags. They're pretty much identical, just with the exception of the size. This one's just a little bit bigger than this one, obviously, as you can tell. But what I'm going to do, guys, is I've had these bags for a couple of weeks now. I've been kind of carrying them around, trying them out in different, situations, just going to the store, running around, doing things like that, And I wanted to get a feel for the bag before I did a review on it, so that way I could give you guys a good, honest opinion on it. VANQUEST did send these to me. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. They just asked me for an honest review, and that's what I'm going to give them. This bag is pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. There are some things that... when it comes to the CCW capabilities of the bag that I'm not maybe the biggest fan of, and I'll explain why. But it could be something that I think could be overcome with maybe practice. You know what I mean? So again, only having the bag for a couple of weeks, it makes it a little hard to determine whether or not this is going to be a really good CCW bag. But I think it's a really good bag overall for what it is and what I can use it for my needs, right? And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. I want to give you guys some examples of like the type of stuff I carry in the bag, how you could possibly load it out, and then obviously depending on your mission needs, you can figure out if this bag's right for you. But guys, VANQUEST is a really good company though. They make awesome bags. Like a lot of their stuff is just, most of their stuff is just super high quality. I utilize one of their the Dinnerite. Sorry, I use the Dinnerite fanny pack all the time. I love that bag. It's been a great tool. I utilize it. As I get older, guys, I can't really stuff stuff in my back pockets anymore. It just, when I sit down, it messes up my back. So I've actually, I transitioned to carrying a fanny pack a lot of the times just because I can fit my wallet in there. Unfortunately, I'm like an old school guy, guys. I still got the big, thick wallet, right? A lot of people have those little thin Ridgeline wallet. I feel like I can't keep the stuff I need. So I have a fat wallet. But, I utilize that fanny pack quite a bit, or sling bag, whatever you want to call it, guys. Some people don't like the term fanny pack. Some people prefer sling bag. And I would classify this as a sling bag, guys, because it has a one-strap system here. So when you're throwing it over your shoulder and stuff like that, it is kind of like a sling bag. And I will turn the camera around. We're going to do a shot where I'm standing up, where you guys are going to see me carrying both of these bags, how I can kind of rotate them around my body. And also access my CCW from the bag as well, because I know a lot of you are watching this video definitely have questions about that. So, but guys, the quality that goes into VANQUEST bags is very, very good. They utilize high quality materials. All the stitching is really, really good. Thick, durable stitching. You have YKK, I think YKK zippers. Double check my notes here. Felt positive it's YKK zippers. Yeah, YKK zippers. They're also not necessarily, I wouldn't say waterproof, but if you guys can see right there, they have like a rubber kind of over molding, and that's to help definitely with water resistance and stuff like that. So let's say you're out hiking, you happen to be over by Yosemite by one of their waterfalls, and if you ever been by a waterfall, guys, you're gonna get wet. Okay, so this is going to shed a lot of that water off. The zippers are going to help protect if you have electronics, cameras, and things like that. It's going to definitely help protect your equipment. Now, is this 100% waterproof? If you fall in the lake or the river, if you get out quick enough, you might be okay. But I would definitely not be trying to stay submerged, right? But you have basically two main pouches to this bag. You have your front pouch right here. It has a zipper. It goes all the way around. And it's kind of cool is these bags are lockable, which is nice because if you guys watch, we thought about taking a trip to Europe before, and I went down this rabbit hole on YouTube of watching videos of Europe and travel and tourism, and well, unfortunately, there's a lot of pickpocketing, crime, and stuff over there. It just is what it is. I don't know. I'm not trying to talk trash on Europe, guys. If you're in Europe watching this, please don't hate me. But I see a lot of videos about pickpockets and things like that. And one of the nice things about this bag is if you look right here on the top of the zipper, you can actually lock this bag. You can put a small lock on here. So let's say you are traveling and you're worried about that. Let's say, you're going to be on crowded subway trains and things like that where possibility of somebody getting into your, maybe trying to zip open your bag, pickpocket you. It happens to the best of people. You could put a small lock on here to make it that much harder for them to get into your bag. You know what I mean? So I thought that was kind of a cool addition. Is it something that, you know, everybody's always going to use? Maybe, maybe not, but it's a nice that they added it. And I really like the fact that they added these these pulls to the zippers too, to make it easier to get into your bag, pull it open, and things like that. So very cool. They even added it onto the back here for the CCW pouch, which there's 2 ways into there. Now, unfortunately, you can't lock that pouch because there is only one zipper. So you're not able to lock that one, and then you have this small pouch up here that's built into this part that is not lockable either. But, you know, of course, you might not be putting your valuables and things like that in there. I would say this is a pouch more designed for small multi-tools or earpod pack, you know, earpods, AirPods, whatever you want to call them. Stuff like that. You could slip up here your keys and things like that. So definitely, but it's just note that that's not what your 2 main compartments are. So that's good to know. So, you know, you're out traveling, keep your very valuables in there, put a small lock on there. Kind of cool. I know it's a bit of an inconvenience, but what's worse, having to unlock a bag to get in there or having your wallet stolen while you're overseas in another country? You know, so that's one of those things you got to think about, right? So real quick, I just realized that I totally forgot to put my microphone on, so I hope the audio's been good up to now. We're going to turn this on. Guys, I'm telling you, see my mic kicked up. Really like these DJI mic 2s. They work really well. Looks like it's not going to let me hook up while I'm recording, so I'm going to stop real quick. All right, everybody. Sorry about that. I had to pair the mic. Can't believe I forgot to put it on in the first place, but that stuff happens. So, where were we? Anyway, it's better to, you know, have that inconvenience of having to unlock your bag and get your valuables out than have them stolen in another country, or even stolen here, wherever it is you're from. Doesn't matter if you're out of country or in country. Having your wallet, credit cards, all that stuff stolen is horrible. It's a pain in the butt, guys. It sucks. And on that note, something that I would like to speak on too is that, you know, according to the tags and everything on this bag, that there's an RFID kind of blocking technology built into the bag, I believe. So let me double check that real quick. Yeah, military grade ITW and Duraflex hardware. Very nice. I'm going to put all the specs to the bag in the description, guys. So you can know. And this is, oh, here we go. RFID blocking fabric for digital ID protection. So that's nice that you have this RFID blocking fabric, because if you have a card with a chip in it, somebody could walk by with a scanner, steal it. If this helps block that a little bit, awesome. I still suggest you get an RFID blocking wallet as well. Double the layer, double the protection. You're good to go. Hopefully, right? That's the goal. So enough about that. Let's get into the bag, guys. I'm getting into like the uses and concepts while I could be showing you the bag. So you have this outer pocket, right? You open this up, it zips open pretty big. Like you can actually fold this open and get down in there if you need to. You have a small kind of see-through mesh pocket here. You have the high-vis orange liner for contrast, so that way if you have things that are dark, or if it's dark outside, you can definitely see, like, let's say you have, you know, your black, you know, battery bank in here. Open this up at night, you know, there's definitely a contrast there, and that's why they put this high-vis kind of orange in here. But you have a small pouch right here. You could open this up, put, you know, secure keys, whatever you could put in here, first aid kit, things like that. Again, it's up to your imagination. You have this nice pouch right here. You do have the soft loop right here, so if you have Velcro attaching like maybe smaller bags, you can stick them in here. VANQUEST does make a whole series of, you know, the hook and loop stuff, right? So you got the hook here. Like this is their CCW holster. So like if for whatever reason I wanted to carry in this front pouch, I could stick this in here, loops in. Now it's stuck in here, and here, that Velcro, there you go. So you can do pretty much anything hook and loop. You could fill this thing full of patches if you want, right? You do have this cool little carabiner style lock here. Not a lock, but it's like a tether, right? And you can go left or right with it. It's pretty big, and you know, you can utilize this to, you know, hook your keys in here. That way you make sure you don't lose your keys or anything like that. Or you could tether a flashlight in here. Like here's my Nightcore EDC23. I could easily just kind of, I already have kind of a hook on here, but you know, you could just hook these together, and now you make sure you don't lose your flashlight. You know what I mean? So you could kind of clip whatever you want to that as long as it'll fit. And then you do have another smaller pouch back here. So you can put whatever you want in there as well. So zip these up. We'll get to the big pouch. Now, one thing I will note with these zippers, they are a little bit slower to pull because of the rubberized coating that helps water protect them. They're not going to be like super fast. I'm making sound effects now. Super fast draws, you know, that weatherproofing does kind of slow it down a little bit. So now you get into the big pouch. Oh, I still have that decadent package there. Throw that down. Get into the big pouch. It's just very, very similar to the first pouch. You have a larger zipper open kind of see-through mesh pouch here. Deeper pocket, obviously. You still have the soft loop back here to attach, you know, the hook and loop stuff. And then you have a larger kind of slide-in pouch right here. And that's pretty much it for the pouches. You do have a couple little lanyard loops here, so if you wanted to like maybe carry your keys or put that kind of carabiner locks thing in here, you could do that as well, or buy a separate one. And that pretty much covers the two main pockets. Now when you get to the back of the bag, it has nice mesh to help breathe, right? Now everything I'm kind of showing you on this bag is identical to the bigger bag, and I will show you that bag as well, but just keep that in mind. They're pretty much identical, just size differences. You have nice mesh right here to help keep it cool, help, you know, if you're sweating, you're out in the hot heat, it'll help keep, you know, hopefully keep some sweat off your back. But it's, let's face it, guys, it gets hot, you get sweaty. You have two zippers on the back. Zip this one or this one, and this opens up completely. So you have your soft hook and loop on the back here, which would be this part right here. And again, this is where you're going to take your CCW, mount it in there like so, and then depending on which way you carry, left or right hand, how you like to draw, that's why they put a zipper on each side, so you can, when you're slinging this bag around, you can, you know, have it set up to whatever you want, right? So I'm going to sling this over my shoulder real quick. So let's say I carry like this, I can sling it this way. I already have my thing pre-set in here the way I like it. Zip this open. Now I could reach in, draw it out, and we can do what we have to do. And unfortunately, I hope you never have to do anything. Or you could just utilize this back pouch as just an extra carrying space. Maybe you could stuff some, you know, you're out at the local soccer game, the AYSO soccer game with your kids, and you have a couple of small kids. You might keep in a couple extra diapers back here or something. Maybe a little package of wipies or whatever, you know, snacks or something little, you know, nothing too thick, because this isn't a very thick bag, guys. It doesn't expand out. Like kind of what you see right here is what you get, you know. So it's not something that, you know, you're going to be able to throw a ton of stuff in. It's just really, I mean, you could pack this bag, which we're going to try to do, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you can expand it out this way. This is a very low profile bag, and pretty much what you're seeing right here is what you're going to get. Again, you do have this small pouch up here. You can zip open. Again, it has a couple little elastic, it has an electric strap right here that you can kind of hook stuff to. Like let's say got this Roxxon mini tool. You know, I could easily stick this in here, clip it onto that little strap. Like so. Now I got just a little quick, easy access multi-tool. Maybe put a small pin in there. Like I said, you put your keys, your iPod, AirPods, or whatever. You know what I mean? Anybody still have an iPod? But very cool bag. You got this nice grab handle, so you can just carry it like this if you want. And it just gives you a multiple, you know, kind of multiple ways to carry it. You can either carry it by the handle. Again, you can set this up for left or right-handed carry, because you do have this easy to detach swivel thing. Bam, just push that button in, pops right out, and if you want to switch it over to the other carry, just slide it in there, locks into place, and it's just as switchable as that. It's very, very easy. Again, push that button in, pull it out, switch to the other side, just like that. One thing I really like about this bag too is this pull strap. This pull strap is very easy to manipulate. I can open it up very large, you know, get it over my big old body. We're not zipped up here, but I can get it over my big body. And then once I get it kind of on there, I can grab this. I can either swing it over or just pull this tight. Now I'm kind of locked in a little better. I want to take it off or move it. I just go like this, boom, roll it around, get to the bag, things like that. And when I'm standing up holding the bag in a standing position, I will show you guys that as well. So that is the Vert 5. So the Vert 7 is the same as the Vert 5, just bigger. So if you got to carry more stuff, you know, or a little bit bigger things, like maybe a bigger laptop, stuff like that, you can absolutely do that. Here's the front pouch. Again, you have that zipper kind of mesh pouch right here that you can put stuff in. You got the lock, you got the hook and loop, you got the larger pouch here in the back that slides stuff into, maybe a tablet or something like that. Open up the back here. Again, got the mesh pouch, got the little loops here to be able to hook that little carabiner thing. You got the soft loop for putting your Velcro, larger pouch in the back. Identical to the Vert 5. Then again, same thing with the back. Open this up, both zippers. You got your soft loop on the back here to be able to mount your CCW or put other miscellaneous things in there, whatever it is you decide you need to carry. And then you have, again, this larger pouch here that you can put a small multi-tool in, things like that. Identical, guys. Everything's identical, just slightly larger bag. So it's nice that they give you two options. Maybe you're a smaller framed male or female. This is just too big for you. You know, you go with the Vert 5. If you're a bigger guy like me, the Vert 7 is probably going to work better. Also, depending on if you're using this as a CCW bag, I found that when I was testing around with my CCW, that the Vert 7 worked better for me because I have a slightly larger CCW. I utilize the Sig Sauer P365 fuse. That's more of a full size, a little bit more of a still skinny pew pew, but I'm trying to watch my words here, guys, because of YouTube. Still skinny, but for like what, 4¼ inch barrel. So it's a little bit bigger than, say, the traditional P365. If I was still carrying the traditional P365, this Vert 5 would be pretty awesome for that. Or if you're running the Hellcat Pro, Shield, Glock 43X, anything like that would definitely fit nicely in here. I did find that when I put a larger size, my fuse in here, it was a little bit like trying to get the angle right to draw was a little difficult. I didn't have that problem when I moved up to the 7. So if you're utilizing a larger size CCW, I would definitely say look at the 7 over the 5, okay? Just because you don't want to have issues, you know, you don't want your CCW in there in an angle that's harder to get out. So just keep that in mind. But what I utilize these bags for, guys, we're going to pack these out a little bit here, kind of show you, is oftentimes I'm going to knife shows because I have another channel, Straight Edge Knives, where I review knives and stuff like that. Now I have this channel, Straight Edge Lights and Gear. So when I'm going to trade shows or things like that, I'm walking around, I got camera equipment. Okay, I got the camera that I'm filming on. Sometimes I have a drone with me. Like a lot of times I'll have like this little Neo with me just in case I need a little drone shot or something. I need to be able to carry this stuff around, especially if I'm flying to the show. I have to take all my batteries onto the plane with me. I can't put them in my check bag. So it's nice to be able to have a bag that I can fit all of my camera equipment in, and along with the batteries, plus maybe little snacks for the plane and stuff like that. You know, other people are carrying clothes on the plane. I'm carrying batteries and cameras and stuff onto the plane, right? But when I utilize the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera for my filming. Sometimes my phone too, it just depends. When I'm out and about at a show, I utilize this case right here for my camera because the DJI Pocket 3 camera, it's got a gimbal, and if it gets hit too hard, it breaks the gimbal. My camera's dead, and it's expensive, and it's hard to replace. So I have this case from Scotty Make Stuff. The camera fits in here. But obviously, this makes the camera a lot bigger, as you can see. So I need to be able to carry this case. I have my tripod that I use. I have backup batteries, power banks, my microphone case, along with my wallet, keys, any other miscellaneous stuff. I got to be able to fit that stuff in here, right? So that's what I like about this bag, is that I'm able to, I can, with the Vert 7, and we'll try it with the Vert 5 too, but with the Vert 7, I can come in, I can slide, my camera down into the main pouch, my tripod down into the main pouch. If I'm carrying a laptop, like this is an Apple, I think this is the MacBook Air Pro or something like that. This is my daughter's actually. But if I was going to take a laptop, I would be able to actually slide this down into the back of the bag as well. Little bit of a tight fit, guys. I mean, I kind of got to work the ends around the computer just a little bit. You guys can see this. It is a bit of a tight squeeze. Is it a doable squeeze? Let's find out. Got that corner that just wants to barely stick up. Gotta manipulate the zippers just a little bit. But there, I was able to get it zipped up. It is a tight squeeze. If you start packing a lot more stuff in there, you might not be able to get that closed. So keep that in mind. Is this a big laptop bag? No, this is more for the smaller laptops. I wouldn't even go... I would say even with this MacBook Air Pro that you're maybe just slightly pushing it, okay? So I don't know what the exact dimensions on this are, but it did fit. So just keep that in mind. I did have my camera and my tripod in there with it as well, and it made it work. So I would feel like this is more of a laptop pocket, not a laptop, a tablet pocket, unless you have a smaller laptop than the Air Pro right here. So keep that in mind. So now I got a camera in there, whatever. I can, I got my mics here, so I can open this up. Do I want to put those in the same pouch? Maybe, maybe not. No, yeah, I'm going to put my mics up here in this top zippered pouch. I will throw one of my battery banks in there as well. We'll zip that up, so you guys can see. So now I have a battery bank, mics, got some cameras in here. I have my larger Anchor backup battery. We'll go ahead and throw that down here at the bottom of this bag as well. And cool. So we got that stuff packed up right there. Main pouch, we'll zip this up. So for my front pouch, what I would do, take my DJI Neo. I call him Roscoe Pico. Cute, 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 right? So I can always stick him, open this up, slide him in this back little slider pouch right here. He'll slide in there. So now he's kind of protected right here. Then I can take my batteries. I will actually put my batteries in the zippered pouch so that way they're not just banging around. Zip that up. And now I have my batteries, my Neo, and you know, I can still take my flashlight, stick it in here, still throw a multi-tool in here. You never know, you might need it to work on something. So this is the this is the Next Torch Pioneer, so I can throw that in there as well. And then again, I don't want to carry my wallet in my pocket, so we're gonna shove my big old fat wallet in here too. Well, maybe not. Wallet won't fit in there with that. So we'll zip this up. Open this main pouch back up because I can fit my wallet back here. There you go. I have a fully set up kind of camera system. I got mics, I got camera, I got a drone, batteries. I'm able to rock and roll. I can get going. I can slide this around the front. I need my camera. Open this up, reach in, pull my camera out, do my filming, all done. Slide it back in. Zip up and boom, onto the next vendor. There you go. Just like that. So that is one of the main ways I like to utilize these bags, is like I said, walking around these shows and stuff, trying to keep my camera equipment easily accessible. It's nice. You know what I mean? I can zip this open, pop my Neo out real quick. You guys know anything about these? They're real quick, like kind of almost selfie drones. Slap the battery and turn off, just get my drone shot. Bam, good to go. And it's nice that I can carry all my batteries and stuff like that in here as well. So have a flashlight in case you need it. And again, something breaks, you got a multi-tool, good to go. So that is one of the ways that I will utilize this bag. I can do the same thing with the smaller bag to a certain extent. We take the Vert 5, open this up. Not 100% sure. My tripod here, my little expandable, barely fits, but it fits. So we'll leave that there. Again, we'll take the camera, slide it in here. Open up this pouch. See if my mics fit in here. Yep, they do. Mics, backup battery will fit in the front pouch right here on the main compartment. Ooh, got caught there. Bam. So there, you guys can see that those are packed in there. Take my larger Anchor backup battery, slide that down at the bottom of there. Bam. Now these are good to go. Can I fit my wallet too? Let's see. Yeah, I could stick it right there on the top. You guys can see. We'll try to zip it up. A little bit more difficult to zip it up, a little bit thicker, you know, kind of setup. I would say maybe if I take the wallet out, it'll, yeah, my wallet was definitely, you guys see my wallet, you guys realize, like, Jesus, that thing is ridiculous. Jason, what are you doing? Thin that thing out. But, bam, camera, Anchor battery, microphones, another backup battery, tripod, all right there in the back pouch. We'll zip up to the front. Take the old little Neo. Now it's a little bit of a tighter fit with the Neo because I will say this, that because I have this other stuff in the back pouch, it's pressing out a little bit, which makes it a little bit harder to get the Neo into this back pouch. So if that's the case, then I would just basically leave him sitting riding like that in the front. He's still going to fit just fine. And I will take the batteries, put them in the zipper pouch so they're not bouncing around. Because when you're out, you know, when you're flying, what you don't want are your batteries bouncing around, accidentally cause a, you know, a little incident, and that's what you don't want. So batteries are in there. So now I got my Neo, got my batteries. Zip it up. This is definitely a little bit more of a tight squeeze, guys. I'm going to tell you that much with the 5. Definitely got this thing kind of packed out, which in the long run, if you're wanting quick accessibility, I would say that you getting it open, you're probably going to be able to get to your stuff quickly. It's getting it closed that tends to be a little bit of the problem. So, like, I'm actually having a little bit of an issue here getting this closed. So it's probably overpacked, right? So open that up. And I think what the issue is stick the Neo down a little bit farther in there. He was riding up high. No, yeah, it's just a little too much. A little too much thickness between the Neo and the battery pack. Let's see if I take the battery pack out here. I know that you guys are probably like thinking, geez, dude, get this done, right? But these are like the real world issues that you can kind of run into when you're trying to figure out if a bag's right for you or not, right? In here. Slide the Neo in. Yeah, so it's just a little too much between the camera, the Neo, because this is, you know, you can see the thickness of this. It's just a little too much. Now, can I still put my wallet in here? Yeah. Can I still put a multi-tool in here? Zip it up. Yeah, you can. So I could still rock this as a camera bag. I just maybe can't fit my Neo in here. Or maybe if I take the tripod out, if I don't need the tripod. So you kind of play around with what it is you're carrying. But that's still a pretty loaded out bag. But that's what I was saying. There's not a lot of expansion on the bag. So it's pretty narrow. And it's like that on the 7 as well. So is this going to be like the ultimate carry-air everything you need bag. Maybe, maybe not, depending on what you're carrying, right? So, but those are typically kind of some of my uses for these bags is carrying camera equipment, stuff like that. If I didn't have to have the safety case basically for my camera, it'd definitely be a little bit thinner and easier to pack stuff in here. But you know, it is what it is. You know, you got to protect your investments, right? So again, the Vert 5 is definitely on the smaller side. So if you're, again, smaller person or maybe not carrying as much big stuff, definitely a option to look at, right? The Vert 7 for me, because I'm bigger, this is going to be probably my main option because one, it's going to carry my camera equipment, and then two, also my CCW. So let's get into the CCW aspect of this, guys. Typically, I don't like to talk pew-pews on my channels because YouTube is very iffy and restrictive on stuff. So I try not to talk about this stuff too much on here, but that is one of the primary designs of this bag, is having a CCW pouch in the back. So we do need to address it and talk about it, right? So let's get this open, and I'm going to show you guys on the 5 first what I'm talking about as far as sizes of you know, pew-pews that you go with, okay? Depending on what it is. Some people really like to carry just a big full-size, you know, pew-pew. Some like to carry super sub-compact pew-pews. Obviously, that choice is always going to be yours. You do what's right for you. So we're going to zip this open. Again, we got the hook and loop. I have the kind of Velcro-y, one size kind of fits all VANQUEST one, which this works very well. I have used this in the past. It works good. On a personal note, I really prefer to have something in Kydex definitely covering my trigger guard, because I'm always afraid wherever you put your CCW, don't put anything else in there with it, with the exception of maybe an extra mag. You do not want your keys or something else wiggling down in here somehow and getting onto that trigger, okay? Always make sure your firearms are unloaded. Make sure they're safe. While you're setting your bag and stuff up, trying to figure out how you want to carry, make sure your pew-pew is unloaded. Make sure it's safe. Don't have any ammunition in the room with you. You do not want to have an accident, okay? Make sure you're following all your gun safety rules. Very important. You know what I mean? Just be safe, guys. You're carrying a pew-pew, you got to be safe. So here's my P365 fuse. There's no mags. I've already safety checked it. Point this down. You guys can see there's no mag in the bottom. Lock this open. Empty. Nothing in the chamber. Chamber clear. Mag will clear. Gun is safe. There is no magazines, no ammunition anywhere around outside at all with me. So still always want to be careful. Try not to flag yourself. So this is a crossbreed Kydex holster that has the hook for hook and loop on the back. This is what I prefer to carry in because it locks my pistol in. It also covers the trigger guard very well. It really minimizes the chances of something getting down inside there. So typically when I'm going to carry kind of in this configuration, right? And so I'm going to always slide my bag this way. So I have the bottom zipper open, which is wrong for me. So that's why I say you got to practice with this, guys. Top zipper. I know I'm going to be coming in this way, so I'm going to take my pistol and I'm going to stick it down where I feel like I can get my hand in there and draw it comfortably. Now, you see here, I have this at an angle, okay? It's at kind of an angle like this. Well, I have to be able to draw that way, I have to get the pistol all the way to the bottom of the bag, so that way I can get my hand in here to get a hold of it to draw it out. But even then, I'm still kind of catching on the back right here. Okay, so it's not a very quick, smooth draw. That I realized I didn't like. Now, for me to be able to get a quick, smooth draw, I have to put that back down in there. I have to pretty much run the gun straight up and down. But the problem with that is it's just a little bit, just the tiniest bit too tall. I get right here, I'm kind of catching. I can get it up and over, but I got to manipulate it. And I don't like that because I'm afraid that in an emergency situation, I'm going to yank this open. You guys heard it kind of hit the tail end of the gun. What if the zipper would have broken, wouldn't open anymore? You know, that's what I worry about, because then I got to come in here, grab this and pull it out and go to town, right? That's why I think the 5 for a full-size gun is full-size pew is not the best option, personally. Okay, if you're running maybe the P365, the Hellcat, the Shield, the 43X, should probably work just fine in here. Something you got to figure out on your own. Okay, so that's why I like this one, because it is a bigger setup for me. So I'll open this back up. I can stick this all the way to the bottom, and it's not necessarily in the way. You guys can see that. And then I can still grab it, come out, and at an angle if I want. I also am able to run this straight up and down with no issues of the zipper catching on anything. Okay, so I can zip it open easily, come in here, grab, pull, good to go. I kind of prefer the straight up and down, and I'm going to show you why. Because when you rock this thing forward, hopefully I'll knock my mic off. When you rock this thing forward, you're going to reach back here, you're going to zip this open, reach in. Now you got a full grip. You do have to grab onto something on the back. As you watch, if I try to draw, back comes up. You do have to grab the bag and draw. Okay, I can easily reholster safely, quickly, up and out, and it's safe, and that works very well. Okay, when I'm at an angle, again, as I'm coming out, I feel like, one, now I'm definitely lasering my hand, okay, because the barrel is pointed this way, so I'm not a big fan of that, but you do have to grab the bag, right? So you come out, and again, you're running the risk of catching on the end of the bag right here, even at that angle. Again, if you're running the smaller 365, something like that, you're not going to really probably have that issue. It's just the larger framed guns. And even though this fuse is skinny, it's still it's still pretty much the same size as a full-size gun, just skinnier. And that's why I like running it straight up and down. I can come in, I can grab the corner of the bag. I'm not lasering my hand, come out, and, you know, do whatever it is you got to do. Okay, so that is kind of the issue that I have with the CCW pouch on this bag. Is it's going to be dependent on what pistol you're running. So think about that when you're considering the size, and then also think about, you know, when you pull this bag around, you have to hold on to the bag, or the whole bag's going to come up with you. So let me stop the camera real quick. I'm going to put it on my tripod. I'm going to stand up over here, show you guys what the bags look like on me, swinging it around, things like that. So stand by. All right, everybody. So here's the Vert 7 on my back, right? I got it kind of just casually on here. I'm utilizing my phone to see what I'm doing. But you can see the strap comes across here nicely. I got this little loop right here. You know, I can always pull it a little tighter if I need to. You guys can see that. Kind of sling it up a little bit. Or if I need to loosen it, I'll grab this part right here, and then boom, drops down. So you can, you know, carry it kind of as tight or as loose as you want, whatever feels comfortable. Like this, you know, I'd probably carry mostly like this, but in the event that, let's say I knew I was going to be getting on a train or something somewhere where, you know, pickpockets are a possibility, I would either tighten this thing up tighter to me so that way I can feel when somebody's messing with it, or I would just slide it around to the front like so, and keep it in front of me, because it makes it way harder for them to get into your bag. When it's right in front of you, you can stand like this with your hands on your bag, resting, enjoying the train ride. Nobody's stealing your stuff, right? Think about that way. Also, if you're out and about, you can kind of preset yourself. Always be aware of your surroundings, right? A lot of crazy stuff goes on far too often, and I'm guilty of it as well. we're like this in our phones and we're not seeing the threats around us possibly, okay? I'm by no means an expert on self-defense type stuff or anything like that. I've taken classes, I've done some shooting courses and things like that, but I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be. This is just my personal opinion. Take it for what it's worth, okay? But, you know, it's good to be prepared. A lot of times you can avoid trouble just by being aware, okay? You look around, you see some people that, I don't know, for whatever reason, look like they're up to no good. Trust your gut and go the other way. If you can't go the other way, you can always at least, you know, stage. Okay, here's still on the train. Okay, everything's cool, everything's cool. Nice, all right, time to get off. Zip up my pouch and roll on, right? Staging. Oh, man, this is getting... Oh, man, that zombie is getting real crazy. Oh, no. Hey, stay back, zombie. Zombie, stay back. Boom, right? You're already prepared, okay? Think of it that way. Now, is that the fastest draw? No, maybe it isn't. I'm not, you know, again, you got to practice with what you got. But it's nice to be aware so that you can be aware of something that's going on. Now, if, let's just say you're casually walking down the street, beep, bopping along, woo! Oh, no, trouble. Zombie outbreak, World War Z. A little bit slower, right? So you got to take that into account, that you need to practice with your stuff, because you got to think, now I got to sling the bag around. I got to get this zipper open, yank it open, get in here, grab the bottom, and out we come, right? So you got to think about that. You want to make this as quickly as possible, as quick as possible, as safe as possible. And that's why I like the larger bag for my larger CCW, because I can come straight out with it, not laser my hand. I can just grab the bottom of the bag, pull out. Again, if practice, because you're always going to resort to your lowest level of training, right? So again, panic situation, you're beep bopping along. Oh no, you slide this around, you got that down. You're like, oh no, you zip this open, reach in. Oh no, you forgot to grab the bottom of the bag. So practice, guys, okay? With a safe, unloaded. If you can even buy a plastic training pistol, awesome, do that. But practice, because you are going to have to grab the bottom of this bag to get the thing out. And that's why I said that's kind of one of the things that I'm not the biggest fan of with this bag, is that that's an extra step I have to remember if I have to get to my thing, right? I got to always slide my hand down here, grab the corner so I can draw. So if I have a criticism of this bag, it would be that. Is that something that can become over? All right, guys. Hey, I had to move over to the shade. My camera actually overheated. Man, we're getting up to like 100 degrees today. And when I'm filming in 4K, man, my camera can get hot if it's out in the sun. That's what happened. It shut off on me. But I did want to show you guys the 5, right? So I have the 5 on right now. Turn around so you guys get a good look at it. It's the 5. You can see it's smaller. Operates the same way as, you know, it's just a little bit smaller. You cinch this down, you can tighten it up so, you know, it's nice and close, tight to your body, you know, which is really nice if, like, let's say you're a runner and whatever reason you got to carry a lot of stuff while you jog. I don't know. This is pretty, it's not going to bounce around a lot on you. My gut's going to bounce around a lot, but the bag won't, right? But to loosen this up, I can easily, again, just grab this, zip it this way, sling this around, open up this pouch. You can come in, get your stuff out, or, you know, your CCW if you need to, or you can just zip it open this way, get your wallet, keys, drone, whatever it is you're carrying in the bag. You can get into your front pouch easily, get in here, get your stuff out nicely, and then zip back up and, you know, continue on your way. You're like, okay, now I'm ready to sling it back around, come around. One thing I will note is when it's looser, right, you reach up for that. Oh, where's that little ring at? Well, the ring is right down there. So you do have to kind of pull it up a little bit so you can grab the ring, and now you can, you know, cinch it down and be ready to go. You know, so just wanted to give you guys a good look at the both bags being wearable and kind of like the options you have of getting to them. Carry it like this if you want, carry it like this. it just depends on you totally how you like to carry your bag. So I know there's a lot of people that really like to just keep their bag in front of them. That's perfectly fine. You can even cinch this down this way if you need to. A little bit more awkward, but you can kind of pull it, get it as tight as you need it, and then rock it right here, but still have it loose enough to where you slide it around, get it out of your way if you need to. And you can always come back up. So it's just something to play around with, something that you have to get used to, and how you operate your equipment, right? So guys, these bags are pretty awesome. I think they're really nice. I think they're very casual, very nondescript. Now, both of mine came in the camo pattern, which is still very, to me, it's not even a very obvious camo pattern. It's very discreet looking. But if you're not into the camo pattern, that's fine. They have a wolf gray pattern that's really nice, very nondescript looking. And then you also have plain black. So they have color options. Guys, I'm going to have links to VANQUEST gear in the description below. I'll also put the product description of the bags that gives you the size dimensions and things like that, exact numbers. I know a lot of people are into those type of things. I don't necessarily spit them all out because it's a lot to go through. And this video is already really long. And if you guys have stuck with me this far, I greatly appreciate it, man. I know it's a little bit of a longer video, but I definitely wanted to make sure that I got as much information about how I utilize the bag, so it gives you a good idea of how you might utilize the bag. And sorry, my neighbor's over here mowing the lawn. I just wanted to make sure I got as much information out and kind of showed you definitely on the CCW aspect of it, because I know a lot of people are going to look at this bag for that aspect. I wanted you to see how, from my experience utilizing it, how I would run it, and maybe some of the pros and cons of it. Okay, again, I'm no expert. This is everything I talked about today concerning that. It just comes from my personal experience and some classes that I've taken, some studies that I've read, and just experience overall. Okay, I do actively, I like to competition shoot from time to time, things like that. So I do have some knowledge and experience. I'm by no means an expert though, so please take that for what it's worth, and be safe with whatever it is that you do. Okay, I'm no expert. Just want to clarify that. It's all about all my experience. Okay, so in today's day and age, you got to make sure you're clear on those things, right? So guys, thank you again for watching. I greatly appreciate it. VANQUEST, thank you for sending these out, man. I appreciate that as well. Hopefully some of the feedback I have will help you guys in further developments. But I do appreciate you sending these. That is my honest opinion on the bag. I think it's a really good bag. I think this is a bag that I'm going to be using quite a bit for different various reasons, like be it either my camera stuff or I'm just in a quick hurry. I got some sweat shorts on. This would be a great gym bag as well, guys. We got to pack your wallet and stuff in there to get to the gym. It's very kind of small. It can stay with you and not be really in the way. So you can utilize it for a lot of different things. Thank you again for watching. I'm starting to ramble. I better cut this off before my camera overheats. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Share this video with your friends if you got any good information out of it. I appreciate it. And stay safe, stay bright, and carry on.